What's up guys, Darkroller here aka Blackheart909, and we're finally checking out my most anticipated upgrade for the LSFG Steam Deck plugin. This is Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm gonna start off by launching it without the plugin enabled, and then we'll go ahead and launch it with the plugin enabled. So I'm just gonna go ahead, load my game, and yeah, we're gonna be testing out Act 3 because this is the worst performing area in Baldur's Gate 3 on the Steam Deck. I think you can get away with playing the entire game on the Steam Deck minus Act 3. Well, you can play Act 3, but you'd have to be comfortable with 20 to 18 and sometimes even lower FPS. So this might also be one of the cases where we change from using a 2x multiplier to a 3x multiplier, but we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see about that. So I don't have my my GPU at 1600 megahertz. I've seen some comments that told me to do that. For Baldur's Gate 3, I don't think it's a purely GPU related issue with the game. I think the CPU suffers, especially in Act 3, and yeah, having it auto balance the load might be the best way to go forward. I might be wrong though. Maybe the extra GPU clock does help in keeping those frame rates high. So let's just go ahead and get our performance metrics up here so we can see how it changes. Okay, performance metrics are on, and yeah, these are the settings I'm using for the lossless scaling plugin. We're using a 2x multiplier for now. Flow scale is set to 85%, that's recommended. And we're also using performance mode. Does this game support HDR? Yes, it does, so it makes sense to keep it on. And yeah, this is my first boot after launching the game, after downloading the game in a while, so it might be putting some shaders in there. You guys can feel free to skip ahead if you'd like, but let's go ahead and load into a save file. Also, before we do that, let's just take a look at the settings. I accept the terms and conditions. And yes, show me everything. Illithid is barely visible. There we go. Here we go. He's barely visible here. Accept, continue. Okay, so how are we looking in terms of settings? We're looking at 720p. Can we do, yeah, we can do full screen. There we go. Triple buffering, FSR 2.2 is on. Yeah, sure, let's keep it on, honestly. And let's keep it at quality. What else? Everything is on medium. Okay. Now, you might be thinking, okay, why not just put it into low? But I don't want to do that. I want to test if we can get it playable on medium first. Once we do that, I can go ahead and change to low later on. But let me just find a save from Act 3. I think this is from the outdoors of Act 3. Let's see. No, we need to still go back. Yep, lower city. Okay, what's the frame rate gonna be like? I've never actually played Act 3 on the Steam Deck natively. I played the game using GeForce Now. On my Steam Deck, I put around 100 hours into it. GeForce Now was a great experience. And I think now you're able to play at 90 FPS using GeForce Now. I still think that'd be the best way to play it. But I remember launching this game on an aircraft, and I was playing through the bog, the swamp, in Act 1, I believe. And I was getting around 30 FPS, and I could lock it to 30, which still didn't feel the best, but it was playable. And since then, I decided to buy a battery pack for my Steam Deck. Just so I'd be able to play stuff like this for more than 5 or 6 hours if I have long haul flights. Anyway, here we are, medium settings, and we're in the middle of the city. We're getting actually a playable frame rate. I'm surprised. This is medium settings. We're running at around 25 FPS, 24. I bet if we keep running around, this is native settings too. Wow, what is everyone complaining about? This game runs great. I mean, sure, you don't want to play at 24 FPS, but you can. I can see what I'm doing, and things look really nice. Okay, there we go. Now we've seen an 18 FPS decrease, 22, 21, 25. Not too bad, honestly. Not too bad, if I have to say so myself. Okay, I feel like I've seen enough. Let's go ahead and test out the plugin. I'll just create a new save file here so I can load into it easily. And yeah, I'm gonna turn on the plugin first. So enable LSFG. We're doing 2x multiplier. We might need to do 3x to get 60 FPS, but let's see. Maybe we can get away with 2x. And now let's just quit the game. And once we load back in, I've already added the extension to the launch options, so I don't have to do it again. I'm so curious to see what the frame rate's going to be like. And I'm also super curious to see what 3x is going to be like. I don't want to test 3x on too many games, but this might actually be the game that needs 3x frame gen. Okay, so we know that it's active because we're getting 90 FPS here. I'm grateful the first boot's a lot faster. The boot's a lot faster now, not the first boot. Guys, I really hope I'm covering everything anyone wants to see in this video, because I've been waiting a long time to make this video, to be honest. I've seen videos of people who did the Decky frame gen testing on this. I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't playable. I've seen videos of people who tried everything to get this game running the way they'd want it to, but unfortunately it's always been a difficult game to run at 60 FPS, or even a consistent 30 in this case. But hopefully we will be able to change that today. Hopefully we'll be able to have a locked 60 FPS experience or more. Yeah, right now we can't have a locked 60 FPS experience as far as I'm aware. Okay, some slowdown there in the loading screen, probably with asset streaming. Moment of truth. It's quickly approaching. Come on, let's see. Feels like my Steam Deck might explode. Okay, so our FPS is higher. We're at 35, 37. So this means it's taken our base FPS down to around 15 consistently. And now when we 2x it, it's going to around 33, 35, 39, 20. In terms of latency, I'll try to open and close a menu. Is that the best test? I don't think so. In terms of latency, what I can tell from just sitting here and playing it, for the style of game this is, it doesn't feel too bad, honestly. It's actually decent. Let's go ahead and do one change before. So yeah, let's turn off VSync. Let's set this to 90 Hertz. Yes. Let's also set this to quality. And let's set everything to low. Okay, with everything at low, we're getting around 40 FPS. So I think it's fair to keep it at medium. What I'm happy about is we're not dropping below 30 FPS now. We're staying above 30 at all times. That's really nice. Is it 60 FPS? No, far from it. So I'd still play at medium, I think. But before we do that, let's go ahead and turn our upscaling down as well. Let's go to performance. I think ultra performance is pushing it a little too far. And with these settings, we're running a little bit higher. The latency is a tiny bit better. So we're at 40 FPS. And it doesn't look too bad. The game looks good still. You do notice more shimmering. So the settings I'd play at are, let's go over here. We'd have this at quality or balanced. I'd just stay at quality to push it as hard as possible. And the overall preset at medium. We can also turn text anisotropic filtering up. Okay, what about 3x? Let's go ahead and test that. This is the first time I'm using 3x, so let's also turn down the flow scale to 80% to offload some of that stress. Let's click play again. Come on, give me that sweet, sweet 60 FPS goodness. So my base frame rate was probably somewhere around 15 to 20 FPS back then with the medium settings, with quality FSR. The one thing I have to say is the menu is super smooth. Like that 90 FPS refresh rate on the logo looked perfect. Honestly, guys, this mod has added so much to the Steam Deck that I'm happy the way it is. If you check out my channel, there's a Red Dead Redemption 2 video that stays comfortably above 60 FPS and it's super playable. There's also a video on Hogwarts Legacy, also 55 to 70 FPS on that comfortably. And now we're doing this game. So next up, I'd probably look at Cyberpunk. I've released a few videos with maximum graphics on my 5080 and also using the Dreampunk mod. But now it's time to check it out on the Steam Deck, a far weaker gaming platform, but way more portable. So let's see what it's like. Come on, 50 to 60 FPS, please. No input latency, or minimal input latency, please, please. Okay, so at 3x, okay, now I'm starting to see some artifacts around the character, and the latency does feel like it's gone up a bit. Definitely has gone up a bit. So yeah, you can definitely see some artifacting around my character. There is this soft blur around him. So to be fair, guys, I would play at 2x with frame gen on, at quality, maybe balance, but let's check out the best case scenario for us here. Let's go to a low preset. Close. Okay, wow. That actually made a big difference. So we went up to 55 now. There is some blurring around the character. 45 FPS, earthquake. 47. Okay, honestly, there's minor blurring around the character. The input latency is definitely higher. Like, look at this. Okay, it doesn't register as soft touch, so. Let's try a dialogue. So I'm gonna press A. Never mind. There's no dialogue with that guy. Yeah, 3x. The artifacting is noticeable, but the performance is significantly better than it was before. Still think this is much more playable than anything's been on this before. Let me just go ahead and change the settings back to what I like. So yeah, I'd play on this. And it's definitely a boost. But yeah, guys, I hope you found this video useful. I hope it brought some insight into your life. And if you're considering playing Baldur's Gate on the Steam Deck or the Steam Deck OLED, I definitely think the LSFG mod or the LSFG plugin is going to be helpful in giving you a slightly smoother experience. And if you're not playing in Act 3, which a lot of you won't be, it's definitely going to be a far better. Oh, sorry for that. I just ran out of storage. But guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. And yeah, comment below with what games you'd like me to check out next. And if you have any suggestions or for improvements on this channel or anything in general, please let me know. Hope you guys have a wonderful day ahead. Dark Ruler, aka Blackheart909, signing off.